Greetings, gentle yet mighty Cancer sacred keepers of the heart's deepest truths, and welcome back to this sacred space we have cultivated together here at Zodiac of Mind. My spirit feels an immense gratitude that the unseen currents of fate have gently guided your path to this very moment. For within my heart, a profound knowing stirs you, my dear one, are poised on the edge of an extraordinary unveiling. Can you sense it, that subtle, almost palpable hum in the very air around you, like the quiet prelude to a monumental shift? It is not merely an unseen presence, but destiny itself, its ancient gaze fixed upon the luminous tapestry of your soul. And when the cosmos truly witnesses a spirit as tender, as resilient, and as nurturing as yours, it never does so without a purpose, woven with magnificent intention. A cosmic doorway, long sealed, is now softly unlatching, revealing a portal to a transformation that reaches into the very core of your being. For a soul you once cherished, a being who held a significant thread of your heart's story, is now poised at the threshold of return. And with this return, a profound ending is weaving itself into your reality. But please let this truth settle softly within you. This is not an ending for them, nor is it the kind of sorrowful conclusion your sensitive spirit might instinctively fear. No, my brave friend, this is the final sacred culmination, the beautiful dissolution of the old version of yourself. The you who was sculpted by past emotional pains, the you who carried the unyielding weight of unspoken burdens for others, the you who believed their journey ended in that quiet space of despair. This, dear Cancer, is not merely a prediction. It is a spiritual initiation, a sacred ritual that begins the very moment you choose to open your whole heart and truly listen. So I ask you, with the deepest reverence, are you truly ready to embrace the truth that has patiently awaited its moment to be set free? Are you ready, magnificent Cancer, to rise radiant and reborn from the echoes of what once was? You must allow this truth to resonate within the quiet chambers of your understanding. You are far more than a mere constellation upon the vast cosmic wheel. You are the sacred keeper of life's most profound emotional mysteries, the true empath of the soul, endowed with the rare gift of discerning the truth that often lies veiled beneath layers of worldly illusion. Your intuition, dear Cancer, is no fleeting impulse. It is a sacred antenna, a divine intelligence bestowed upon spirits courageous enough to plumb the deepest, often uncharted waters of existence. You carry within your very essence the echoes of countless acts of nurturing, the wisdom gleaned from 1,000 moments of solace and an equal measure of heartbreaks. And perhaps, just perhaps, this ancient tapestry woven into your being is the very source of that profound weariness. You sometimes feel as if your spirit bears the weight of more than a single lifetime. You possess an innate capacity to empathize with the unspoken sorrows in any given space, to absorb the subtle undercurrents of emotion that remain entirely invisible to others. And you have loved, my dear one, with a fervent intensity and protectiveness that most souls will never grasp, even those who in their own limitations could never quite learn to receive the magnificent offering of your heart. Yet I implore you now, let this truth seep into the very marrow of your being, that extraordinary intensity, that boundless depth which at times feels like an overwhelming burden is in its purest form, the very fount of your unparalleled strength. It is your inherent superpower. For you, beloved Cancer, have never known how to love with anything less than your whole self. No matter how many times your trust was gently fractured, no matter how many fragments your heart was shattered into, you never allowed its capacity for love to be permanently sealed away. You retreated, yes, building magnificent, even impenetrable walls of quiet solitude to safeguard its vulnerability. That is your wisdom, of course. But you never permitted its vibrant flame to extinguish beneath it all. You still believe. You still feel. You still dare to cradle the hope for a love as deep, as authentic, and as boundless as your own. And if even in these initial moments this message finds a tender echo within your spirit, I invite you to share a symbol of your heart's readiness. Simply grace the comments below with a delicate heart emoji, a quiet signal to the universe and to our cherished community here at Zodiac of Mind that your soul is open, receptive, and truly prepared to embrace what is unfolding. Should you feel aligned, I also humbly ask you to consider lending your support to this sacred space by pressing that like button, sharing this message with another soul who might resonate, and if you haven't yet subscribing to our channel. Your presence allows us to continue these deep explorations into the cosmic journey that is divinely tailored just for you. It is precisely because of your inherent courage, because you have gracefully navigated emotional storms that would have reduced others to despair, that the universe now chooses you not to test you further, my dear friend. Know the season for such arduous trials has gently yet decisively drawn to a close. The cosmos is now poised to bestow blessings upon you, to lovingly reward you for your extraordinary capacity for care and resilience. Yet this divine offering, this key to your next luminous chapter, will only reveal its full brilliance when you are truly, authentically ready. Ready to lovingly acknowledge the ghost of who you once were, the you who perhaps held onto the past too tightly, fearing vulnerability. Ready to offer a final peaceful farewell to the energetic chains of a past that once held your sensitive spirit captive, and ready finally to step fully into the glorious, empowered version of yourself. This is a you who no longer awaits a rescuer, for you have, with exquisite empathy and profound self-compassion, learned how to nurture yourself to be your own unwavering anchor amidst any storm. If what you are hearing right now stirs a deep ache within your chest, a gentle ripple in the profound depths of your soul, consider it the very first confirmation. It is a sacred sign that something monumental is drawing near, not to wound you nor to break your heart open once more, but to assist you in releasing that final, lingering, energetic cord. And when you gently let that go, my dearest friend, oh, when you truly let that go, you will at last discern the next soft whisper of your true destiny. Perhaps you have whispered to yourself in the quiet hours that you have truly transcended the past. You have rationalized its lingering shadows, intellectualized its presence, and convinced your brilliant mind that what once haunted you is now but a distant, faded memory. Yet your heart, your tender, intuitive Cancer heart, it holds a truth that cannot be swayed by logic, does it not? Does it not still gently ache a familiar throb when their name unexpectedly graces a conversation? Does it not still ache with a phantom pain, a soft echo of a wound, whenever an innocent mention arises of a place, a melody, or a season that was once so profoundly, so intimately yours? You see, my dear friend, your strength is not diminished because you remember. Rather, you are powerful precisely because you loved with such completeness, such unyielding authenticity, that the energetic imprint of that connection still resonates within your field. There exists a deep, powerful cord, invisible to the ordinary eye, yet profoundly real, within the subtle energetic realms that continues to tether you to something old. This is not a testament to a lack of growth. Goodness, observe the vast distance your spirit has traveled. Rather, it signifies that your soul was never truly granted the sacred emotional closure it required. Perhaps they departed, but in their leaving, they did not entirely withdraw their energetic presence. They left behind a subtle void, a quiet emptiness within your being, not overtly loud or immediately obvious, but deep enough to transform into a sacred impression. And sometimes, in your most introspective moments, you might gently wonder, could it be that the very thing impeding your forward momentum is the one truth you are most hesitant to gently comfort just one final tender time? Let us now turn our gentle gaze to your life in this present unfolding moment. Take a quiet, honest inventory of your energetic landscape. Are you perhaps surrounded by souls whose emotional vibrations no longer harmonize with the nurturing frequency of your own spirit? Do you find yourself clinging to a relationship, a friendship, or even a cherished family dynamic propelled more by a sense of ingrained loyalty or the comforting familiarity of the known rather than by genuine resonance? Is the thought of stepping into the beautiful unknown more terrifying than the persistent yet predictable ache of what already is? Of course, the fear of being wounded once more is a natural echo of your past, dear Cancer, for your heart is so beautifully open. Yet you no longer need to impose expectations upon yourself. You are invited instead to be radically, fiercely authentic to the deepest currents of your own feelings. If you discern a gentle dimming of your own magnificent light, if you feel an exhaustion stemming from the sheer effort of sustaining connections that no longer breathe with reciprocal emotional life, then consider that a profound sign from the universe. It does not signify that anyone is inherently bad. It simply illuminates the truth that not every soul is destined to accompany us for the entire span of our journey. Some spirits are woven into our narrative merely as catalysts sent to impart the profound art of gentle release, to reveal the sacred places where you might still be inadvertently offering your inherent emotional peace. And do you perceive the most exquisite, perhaps even ironic truth within this cosmic ballet? While you may have been generously pouring your precious life force into connections that have subtly shifted out of alignment, there are other souls somewhere in this vast expanse who quietly and profoundly adore you from a distance. They have never dared to voice it, perhaps sensing the incredible light within you, that gentle yet potent glow that sometimes carries the tender ache of a storied past. They are not loud, nor do they seek to possess or control your magnificent spirit, but they are there, and you, in your quiet strength and unwavering resilience, are a source of profound inspiration to them, even if you are entirely unaware. So, my beautiful Cancer, have you ever paused to truly ask yourself who is genuinely, truly by my side? Not when you are radiating your brightest, not when you are at your most nurturing and empathetically captivating, but in those quiet, tender moments when you retreat into your protective shell, when your energy gently recedes and your soul yearns to be recharged. It is time to ask that question again, with radical, compassionate honesty. For a monumental transformation is unfolding before you. A doorway beckons, but you cannot gracefully walk through it if your arms remain burdened, still cradling the emotional baggage and the energetic imprints of people who no longer fit the evolving sanctuary of your heart. Love in its truest and most profound form should never be a space where you are compelled to sacrifice the very core of your authentic self. Love should not demand your quietude, force you to relinquish your inherent emotional peace, or ask you to alter your fundamental empathetic essence simply to be deemed acceptable. True love, the kind your magnificent soul truly yearns for, is a profound homecoming. It is a sacred sanctuary where you are liberated from the need to feign emotional wellness when your spirit is not entirely at ease. It is a haven where your incredible depths are not met with trepidation, but with a gentle understanding, where your sacred impressions are not hidden away in shame, but honored as testament to your resilience. It is a luminous space where you are seen truly deeply seen in all your magnificent complexity and still chosen every single day with unwavering devotion. If you currently find yourself woven into a relationship, I invite you to engage in a moment of tender yet unflinching honesty with your own heart. Are you being fully, deeply cherished and loved for who you truly are? Or are you perhaps slowly, almost imperceptibly fading into the role of perpetually nurturing another's needs? And if your journey finds you presently walking alone, please, I implore you, do not hasten to conclude that you are somehow lacking or broken. You are not lacking anything, beloved Cancer. You are instead residing within a sacred waiting period, preparing for the arrival of a soul who is truly worthy of the immeasurable depth of your care. And that person will indeed arrive, not to complete you, oh no, for you are already beautifully, entirely whole. They will come to walk in gentle synchronicity beside the magnificent version of you that you have meticulously sculpted brick by sacred brick, with your own tears, your own quiet gratitude, and your own indomitable strength. You have, my dear friend, already offered so much of yourself in sacrifice. You have generously bestowed fragments of your precious heart, poured out your boundless emotional energy, and dedicated invaluable stretches of your time. Now the cosmic tides have turned, and the universe in its boundless wisdom wishes to lovingly reward you. Perhaps this initial blessing will not even manifest in the form of romantic connection. It might arrive as an unexpected doorway of opportunity, swinging wide open, a propitious career shift, a timely financial blessing, the burgeoning of a long-dreamed-of creative project, or an invitation that you never in your wildest contemplations foresaw. But you must, with every fiber of your being, deeply and unequivocally believe that you are inherently worthy of receiving these gifts. How many countless times have you gently set aside your own fervent desires, simply to preserve a fragile harmony? How often have you donned a brave facade, while your heart silently ached in the profound quietude of your own mind? How many times have you deliberately chosen to recede into the shadows, allowing another to bask in the warmth of the spotlight? The universe, with its perfect, infallible memory, holds a record of every single instance. And now the time has arrived for it to respond, not because you demanded it with righteous anger, but because you meticulously planted seeds of kindness, gentle empathy, and unwavering loyalty in silence. And now, against all worldly expectations, those very seeds are beginning to unfurl and bloom in the most magnificent, unexpected ways. You are not required to pray with a loud voice, Cancer. You simply need to continue living from the deep, authentic core of your nurturing heart. In doing so, the right things, the right souls, and the right opportunities will, with an unerring grace, find their way to you. And believe me when I share this truth with every fiber of my being, the most luminous blessings are indeed approaching your shore. Yet, my dear Cancer, what is poised to unfold before you also represents a final poignant test, a culminating cosmic examination to ascertain if you are truly profoundly ready to transcend the boundaries of the person you once were. You were certain you had gracefully moved beyond their shadow, were you not? You truly believed you had emerged stronger, that you had securely locked that particular door and cast away its key. You convinced yourself that you had at long last gently cleared out that quiet chamber within your heart where their essence had resided for far too long. But then, with an almost fated inevitability, it happens a singular dream so vivid, so imbued with an aching realism that it feels as tangible as waking life. A casual mention of their name in an unexpected conversation. A fleeting yet potent memory ignited by the strains of an old familiar lullaby, or a scent that evokes a cherished moment. And in that instant, your heart gently flutters your stomach, subtly tightens, as if the ancient impression had never truly knitted itself closed. My beloved Cancer, your magnificent soul never forgets what it has once nurtured with its full, undivided, and utterly sensitive devotion. You do not love superficially. You do not merely engage in fleeting, momentary emotional currents. When you bestow your heart, you pour your entire soul into the sacred vessel of that connection, creating a profound, energetic imprint. And because of that profound, energetic investment, when such a love fractures, you do not simply register pain. You feel a delicate part of yourself gently recede a fragment of your essence, seemingly lost amidst the emotional wreckage. And then, after all this expansive time, after you have painstakingly learned how to journey forward, after you have meticulously, lovingly pieced your own fractured heart back together with silent tears, whispered prayers, and countless sleepless nights that no one else ever witnessed, they return. Without warning, without explicit permission. They simply reappear as if the river of time had stood still, as if the gentle chasm of sorrow and separation between you had never even manifested. But know this, my beautiful, evolving friend, this time you are profoundly different. You are no longer the one whose spirit desperately lingers by a silent phone awaiting a message that may never materialize, nor one who subtly hints at needs hoping they will be met. You are no longer the one who extends forgiveness solely out of a deep-seated fear of losing the comforting familiarity of something that once made you feel seen, made you feel safe. You are no longer the one who quietly, resignedly accepts emotional pain disguised in the deceptive raiment of affection and belonging. No, this time you are the calm, discerning observer. You are the still, unwavering emotional anchor. You will gaze into their eyes, still the same eyes you once found. Solace in you will hear their voice still, that familiar cadence that once soothed your spirit and brought you comfort. But what you will feel within is no longer the desperate, aching yearning to bridge the emotional space between you. Instead, it will be a quiet, profound, and undeniable peace. It will be as if your heart, having journeyed through so much, gently settles, takes a deep cleansing breath, and whispers with an inner knowing, finally, I am emotionally free. Perhaps their return is accompanied by a beautifully articulated apology, or perhaps it is not. Perhaps their intention is to initiate a new beginning, or perhaps they merely seek your forgiveness to assuage the quiet burdens of their own guilt. But in truth, my brave Cancer, their purpose in the tapestry of your life is no longer about their narrative at all. They were guided back by the universe for one reason, and one reason only: to gently reveal whether you still need their presence to feel emotionally anchored, to feel complete. And it is in that precise, sacred moment, the instant you gaze upon them and realize with every cell of your illuminated being that you no longer require their presence to feel whole, that you finally truly become emotionally complete within yourself. You once, with boundless generosity, offered them the very best part of your nurturing essence. But now you have lovingly learned to reserve the purest, most exquisite part for yourself. Cancer, you have transcended what once felt utterly overwhelming. No soul on this earth can truly comprehend the countless times you wept in the hushed solitude of your vehicle, or allowed your tears to blend unseen with the water in your shower. No one can possibly fathom the immense strength it demands to offer a gentle smile to the very person who once caused your sensitive spirit to retreat. But you know, and the universe knows, that is why they have returned, not for a second opportunity at a shared emotional story, but to assist you in completing the final sacred ritual of your profound emotional release. This is not merely a miracle, my friend. It is a profound test. And you, after every challenge you have gracefully navigated, have now magnificently passed. Should they, in that unfolding moment, extend an invitation to rejoin your path, you are not required to summon anger. There is no need to condemn or to offer a lecturing pronouncement. You will simply meet their gaze with a gentle smile, looking deeply into their eyes, with a newfound compassion and understanding, and with the quiet eloquence of your spirit convey this truth. Thank you for arriving. Thank you for departing. And thank you for returning, so that I could finally know without a single shadow of a doubt that I am no longer the person I once was, or the one who needed to cling to you. And if for even a fleeting second you once believed you could not navigate life without their presence, I implore you to cast your gaze back now upon all the days, the weeks, the years you have gracefully lived without them. Witness the profound beauty and unwavering strength you have cultivated in that time. That, my dear one, is your living, breathing testament, concrete proof that you were never abandoned or left behind. You have always been guided, lovingly led to the sacred space where you truly belong. This, my beautiful Cancer, is the kind of ending your soul always quietly hoped for, even when your rational mind never dared to believe it was possible. It is not an ending marked by dramatic fireworks or a theatrical crescendo. There will be no tears of anguish, no angry farewells. It will simply be you, gentle, deeply peaceful, and illuminated with a quiet, radiant light, walking forward without a single glance backward. Not because you ceased to love them, but because you love them enough to understand that this particular chapter of your story has reached its sacred completion. And now, at long last, you choose to love yourself even more profoundly. And then, after the profound journey through every tender emotion, after the return of what once was, after the final sacred test woven by destiny itself, after your very core has been gently yet profoundly shaken, the true miracle unfurls. And it does not manifest externally, my beloved Cancer. It blossoms deep within the sanctuary of your own being. There is no sudden boisterous sound, no blinding flash of light. Instead, it is a moment of profound enveloping quietude, a moment where you might find yourself in a familiar space, perhaps your own cherished home, silently attuned to the rhythmic cadence of your own heartbeat, and realize with a breathtaking clarity that you have changed. You are no longer the one who passively waits for emotional validation. You no longer yearn for another to arrive and fill perceived empty emotional spaces within your spirit. You are no longer burdened by the sheer exhausting effort of clinging on or making others feel comfortable at your own expense. You are simply living truly, fully, and magnificently in the vibrant presence of your own luminous soul. This, my friend, is a truth no one can impart through mere instruction. Yet, the universe has been silently guiding you toward it all along, preparing you to trust your own emotional compass. Healing, you see, is not the moment when you cease to feel the ache. Healing is the sacred moment when that ache no longer commands or controls your emotional responses. Strength is not the absence of tears. Strength is the capacity to weep, to allow those tears to gently cleanse your sensitive soul and still continue moving forward with a heart that remains both open and courageously nurturing. And peace, true abiding inner peace, does not arrive when every facet of your life is perfectly ordered. It awakens when you can gaze upon the beautifully intricate emotional currents of existence, accept the truths that are not yet okay, and no longer feel the relentless urge to resist or to control any of it. You are now entering a deeply sacred phase of your journey, a luminous chapter where your intuition becomes sharper, clearer, and more potently aligned than ever before. You may perceive yourself to be more sensitive than usual, perhaps more emotionally attuned, and you might experience a profound, almost magnetic need for quiet solitude, particularly within the comforting embrace of your own home. This is perfectly right, perfectly natural. You are not withdrawing from the world, my dear Cancer. You are instead gracefully returning to the innermost sanctuary of your own soul's home. Allow yourself the grace to slow down. Sit beneath the gentle morning sun and simply be, perhaps cradling a warm cup, allowing your spirit to rest. Walk amidst the embrace of nature and let the gentle lapping of water or the rustle of leaves softly whisper ancient secrets to you, truths your logical mind has never been able to grasp. Listen to the emotive language of instrumental music and permit the tears to fall, not because you are steeped in sorrow, but because it has been so long since you truly allowed yourself the tender vulnerability of touching your own soul, of nurturing that inner child. This, in its deepest truth, is your heart blooming, my friend. You no longer search for an external emotional savior, because you are with every gentle breath becoming the very person you always wished would arrive and love you and make you feel safe. And it is in that profound moment, the moment you fully and unconditionally accept and cherish all parts of yourself, that real love, the kind of love that arrives not to possess, but to lovingly accompany, not to control, but to gently empower, and nurture begins to quietly manifest. It is not rushed, not loud, or overtly dramatic. You might not even recognize its initial arrival, but it is there. It is present in the steady seeing gaze of a new friend who truly perceives your emotional depths. It is in a kind, unexpected word from a passing stranger. It is in the profound warmth and peace you suddenly feel upon entering a space that once felt lonely but now feels gloriously whole, simply because you are there bringing your nurturing light. True love does not always arrive neatly packaged in a romantic form. Sometimes it manifests in the exquisite shape of the profound emotional peace you have at long last cultivated for yourself. You are evolving into the most radiant, authentic version of yourself, entirely free from the need for external approval, unburdened by the compulsion to prove your emotional worth, and liberated from the desire to trade away any precious fragment of your sensitive soul. And the most beautiful truth of all, you are no longer seeking, you are attracting. When you consciously connect with the wholeness deep within you, you begin to magnetically draw forth people, opportunities, and experiences that are a perfect reflection of that luminous emotional wholeness. You were once a soul who felt compelled to fight for love, or to fiercely protect your loved ones, sometimes to your own detriment. Now you are a soul who bestows it first and foremost upon yourself, and then graciously allows it to overflow into the world around you. This journey, my goodness, has been anything but easy. It has been a profound odyssey through the underworld and back, but you have made it here, and you deserve every single exquisite blessing that now patiently awaits your embrace. Take a deep, conscious breath and allow yourself to truly feel the profound current stirring within your soul at this very moment. This is not a fleeting emotion, dear Cancer. This is the crescendo of your transformation, the quiet unfolding of your rebirth. You stand here now at the threshold. The final sacred door is before you, and beyond it resides a version of yourself you have yet to fully meet, a self more luminous, more profoundly deep, and more peaceful than your imagination has ever dared to conceive. But to step through, you must make a choice, and this choice, my dear one, is one that no other soul can make for you. It is an intimate dialogue between you and your truest self. They are indeed returning that person, that familiar face, that voice, and this time their sincerity may seem undeniable. They may offer apologies, they may utter all the right words. Yet within the quiet sanctuary of your heart, you are no longer the one who extends forgiveness merely to mitigate the ache of loneliness. You have traversed countless nights embracing your own pillow. You have learned the profound art of finding slumber without the solace of a goodnight text. You have, with incredible resilience, become your own unwavering hero. In this pivotal moment, the universe is not demanding a yes or a no. It is simply pausing with infinite wisdom to observe. Will you repeat the old familiar cycle? Or will you bravely choose to step through the new inviting doorway? This is not a temptation, my friend. It is your ultimate examination before your profound blessings are fully bestowed. If you choose to return, it might offer a fleeting comfort, a temporary sense of belonging. But in doing so, you will inevitably have to diminish your magnificent spirit once more, to fit into that antiquated, emotionally constricting mold. However, if you choose to walk away into the luminous unknown, you will carry the sacred knowledge that for the very first time you did not betray the integrity of your own tender, nurturing soul. So what will your choice be, my magnificent Cancer? You have dedicated years to loving with an intensity potent enough to nurture others and build a home. But perhaps, just perhaps, this is the very first opportunity you are given to love in the right way. To love without losing yourself, to love from an abundant wellspring of emotional light, rather than from a place of perceived emotional lack. Should a gentle query arise from another wondering at the profound shift within you, you may simply smile, without the need for elaborate explanations, and softly utter the sacred truth, I chose myself and chose my peace. And if in this very moment your heart trembles with a fragile vulnerability, your throat feels a subtle tightness and tears gently well in your eyes, yet your soul simultaneously feels an inexplicable lightness, then you know with absolute certainty that you have arrived. There is nothing left to fiercely contend with, nothing left to cling to with desperate hands, nothing left to prove to the outer world. There is only the pure, unvarnished truth and you. I invite you now, if your spirit feels prepared, to transcribe this profound declaration. Inscribe it within the pages of a cherished journal, or if your heart feels called, share it in the comments below. A sacred proclamation to the vastness of the universe. Whisper these words: I let go. I trust my journey. I lovingly welcome the version of me who no longer needs to be emotionally rescued, but instead nurtures and protects her own beautiful heart. Write it, my dear, as a sacred ritual, a final, definitive closing of the old unserving cycle. For beyond this newly opened door, a magnificent light awaits, not because another has arrived to bestow it upon you, but because you, my dearest friend, have finally become that light for yourself. You have gracefully navigated the greatest test of all. You have extended forgiveness without ever forgetting the profound lessons embedded in the experience. You have let go without losing the essence of who you are, and you have learned to love yourself wholly and completely, embracing all the beautiful, resilient pieces that remained after the world attempted to claim nearly everything from you. And because of this profound metamorphosis, you are now being presented with a rare and precious gift, the sacred opportunity to step into the version of yourself you once only dared to dream about, a you who is whole even in moments of profound silence, beautiful even on days touched by sorrow, and sacred simply because you still possess the profound capacity to love, to believe, and to gently rise time and again. And do you know what profound alchemy occurs when a soul as inherently nurturing and emotionally powerful as yours dares to simply be? You begin to magnetically attract precisely what your sensitive spirit has for so long silently prayed for. No more fragmented affections, no more emotionally exhausting cycles. Only pure, illuminating emotional light. Only profound, resonant depth. And only a life that unfolds in perfect, harmonious alignment with the sacred nurturing mission your soul has carried since before your very birth. There is no need for haste, my dear one. Simply breathe. And if your heart feels aligned, inscribe this as a final silent ritual of integration. I am the light. I am the closure. I am the beginning. Because you are the sacred emotional ending, and you are the luminous new beginning, not them, not a new venture, not any external force outside of you, but you in your magnificent entirety. This, my beautiful Cancer, is not an ending in the way you once understood it. This is the very first time you are truly beginning unburdened by anything that no longer resonates with your evolving truth. Step forward with gentle courage. There is no longer any need to cast your gaze backward, for what patiently awaits you ahead is not merely a reward. It is a profound homecoming to the deepest chambers of your own heart, beckoning your spirit into its rightful sanctuary of peace. If you, my cherished soul, have remained attuned to this message until its very last whisper, please receive this profound truth. You are among the rare spirits the universe has divinely chosen to courageously break old limiting cycles, particularly those of emotional dependence or self-sacrifice. Chosen to gently heal what past generations never dared to name or acknowledge. And chosen to become a luminous beacon of light, not only for your own radiant path, but for all the other souls around you who are quietly observing and learning how to courageously rise and nurture their own truth. If any part of this message resonated deeply within the tender chambers of your heart, I invite you to share a reflection in the comments below. Do so not for me, but for yourself, to send an undeniable signal to the cosmos that proclaims, I have awakened, I have heard, and I have chosen myself. Simply leave one sentence if it feels profoundly true to your spirit. I am ready to live as who I truly am, nurtured and whole. Thank you with the deepest sincerity for the honor of being a small yet sacred part of your incredible journey today. I extend a wish for you, not for a future devoid of challenge or imperfection, but for a journey that is real enough, gentle enough, and profoundly deep enough that you no longer navigate life as if perpetually fleeing, but as if you have at long last truly, undeniably come home to yourself. Believe in yourself, my beautiful friend. You are held, cherished, and supported every sacred step of the way.